and my joy is your joy. Shake it. Citizen FM. Make we join our hearts to build a nation of our dreams. Your problem is my problem and my joy is your joy. Make we join our hearts to build a nation of our dreams. Yeah. Your problem is my problem and my joy is your joy.
To 25 minutes past 8 o'clock, still on steel. We day on top the radio for Citizen FM for 93.7 for Abuja, and here we day based on how it be. And we're still there on top of Super Citizen at sunrise. We just finished with our guests for inside of the house. I tell you yesterday, say also because for this Abuja, I'm not gonna come down. If I get market, if you self get market to sell, I come and sell. The big talk go turn to that your market we want to sell. Now what for you? Bring your market and sell. Let me also you guys. I don't get that. Okay, but we don't sell market finish. So back to the matter. Big talk on top the radio. They call me the chief priest this morning, 8:26, Super Citizen at sunrise on top of Citizen FM 93.7. Back to the matter now. Now, matter day ground for my church mind this morning. We talk about some things. All right, we talk about some things, and I want to share. I want to touch some of those things, especially for some people who don't listen to us. And the matter, I don't even finish waiting at the talk because of time. So we go check them underscore. We go put body. The number self. The day open. The phone lines. Them day open. We go talk about shortly, but some left over from the newspaper review. Patrick, I've been promised I will read this message, so make I just collect this message before I go back to the matter with the ground. Patrick from New Cairo say PDP and APC supporters clash. One killed in Rivers State. I think the supporters of these political parties should have a rethink. Fighting for politicians whose children are abroad is worse than foolishness. Waiting can they worse than foolishness, Patrick? Hey. Say they worse than foolishness. Election has come and gone. Any political party that is not happy with the outcome should take the matter to court, not taking it to the street. Our security agencies should deal decisively with anyone involved in this fight in Rivers State. Thank you so much, Patrick from New Cairo, for that one. We don't talk, very important as they take the go. All right, so that one day there. On to the matters really on top of the table for the big talk this morning on top Citizen FM 93.7. Now, artificial intelligence is a very important thing, very beautiful thing. It get many advantages. It get many good things when it be say it get many advantages, many good side. Now, but one of the bad sides, we say people come be like say people they use them, they do all types of things. Now make I share with you something last year, for December last year, somebody what they call Malik Afebua. Now filmmaker when it be now in create something because when I've been to talk about deep fake and artificial intelligence technology, we go fit to create both visuals, both pictures, both video, both audio. All right, audio, video, and audio, video, and pictures to talk whether now fake or real. Now, this particular guy, what do they call Malik Afebwa? Now, he creates something very interesting. Something when he creates. Now, he capture runway fashion show for elderly people, and then they very stylish. Runway fashion show for elderly people. When it be said in they stylish, okay? You go see old man, old woman, white beard, white hair. They go to match, they bounce for inside of runway. If you see the pictures, I just open them, they check them out. Very beautiful, make sense. Post them for social media. People they react. That time people never really know. Many people never really know much about this whole technology. I don't know why people just look up. So people say, "Wow, see beautiful runway pictures." Now, but last, filmmaker will be Malik Ofebwa of Slick City. He shared those images and himself come outside after many reactions. Content people say, "Make gonna calm down. These things, na fake." Because if you see the men, he wear better suit. Old men, dark skinned, old guys, white beards. But if you see the suit where they wear, package themselves with the way where they take dress, the jewelries, the fashionable eyeglass. If you see the pictures, if you check them out. If you just Google them, there you go see them. Mike Afebwa, filmmaker, Malik Afebwa. Just Google them there. You go see the runway pictures, very beautifully made. This one are pictures. Now videos self don't emerge, and like I even share with you. I see pictures of Donald Trump. Where did they arrest him? Police carry him, they put inside car. But today, now we they hear, so in fact, now today, now Donald Trump go submit himself. He go come New York, submit himself for the charges where they hang for his neck. Now, this one day there. So, is it possible to recreate these things? Is it possible to recreate audio, try to simulate that voice? Is it possible to try to create person face, person look? Is it possible to try to create video of person, put word for a mouth? Through AI than artificial intelligence. It is very, very possible. All right, we don't notice it. It's very possible, and we don't see them for different places. Now, what to make me bring this thing come outside? Now, the reactions from the supposed leak audio from the presidential candidate of the Labour Party and one of the clergymen for inside of the country. That particular audio, don't they go viral? People they post them, they talk many things about them, but you need to be very careful and you need to be very sure based on how you be, so that you go know what you talk or what you share, because reactions still follow that matter. The Olofa of Ofa don't react to the leaked audio when they be say instead don't react to the audio. Different people don't react to the audio. Many people talk say, well, even the party where they involved don't react. Many people talk say this one not fake. Some people say, well, no be fake. And then some people say a plot to tie the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, a plot to tie him to insurrection, or tie him to religion, or tie him to different things. When it be say we go cause higgy hagger for the country. Now, waiting make me bring this talk come outside again. Be say make we self try on our own. As citizens, make we try on our own to do it. Make we avoid some of these things. Make we be careful with some of these things, knowing that some of these things they don't really be true. Person will bring them out for this reason, for the purpose of say make people they talk, make people they drag themselves. Now make them bring them out. Some of these things. Now, while they still they check, forensic search still they go on to check whether that particular audio they authentic or not. What do you guys do as citizen, as responsible citizen, not to calm down, no jump, share what you know they sure about. no jump share them because you know really they sure about them. All right, so this particular one, I see I'm there. I say make I share them with you because now what don't they happen and it be like trend. You know, it be like trend. Artificial intelligence generated, they call it deep fake technology, generated pictures, generated videos, generated audios, and all of those things. Then they there, and I said make I quickly share that one. Now talk about the countries them for inside of Africa, the biggest producers of palm oil for inside of Africa. Now, if you check them out, Nigeria, with production of 1.4 million metric tons, Nigeria are the 5th largest producer of palm oil for the world. For the world, the 5th largest producer of palm oil for the world. Now, so you can understand why when people hear headlines, like some of the headlines will come outside where they say palm oil, Nigeria, they import palm oil. You go come to wonder, how can the 5th largest producer of palm oil for inside of the world, they import palm oil? So something needs to be done in that sector. Now, apart from saying Nigeria are the 5th producers of palm oil for the world, you talk about Africa. Nigeria are number 1 as at March 2023 from Business Insider Africa. Now the top 10 countries within list for inside of Africa, Senegal, they're number 10 there. Senegal, they produce 14,000 metric tons of palm oil for inside of when they do the calculation, 14,000 metric tons. And then they say the industry, see the early stages, they still come up, they still grow. But the government, they try to promote, they put things where they put inside to make sure, say, the industry grow. Then they on top of number 10, 14,000 metric tons. Then they produce. Talk about Senegal. Then number 9, Liberia, they for number 9, where they produce 45,000 rather. All right, 45,000 metric tons of palm oil. Now, according by the estimates, we them bring come outside. And they say the industry still they grow. So chances they say go even produce more than this figure, will be 45,000 metric tons. And they say the government they invest, the government they expand. And one of the common thread whether between Senegal, Liberia, the government they push them, the government driven, government they push them well. All right. Now talk about Guinea. Guinea they number 8. Guinea they produce 50,000 metric tons of palm oil. According by the research, we did bring come outside, and then they get potential to still grow more, and the government they work to promote them, to create work, and to increase export. So Guinea they are number 8. Angola. Now Angola won't go shock you because Angola they produce 55,000 metric tons. Now Angola move from. In fact, they just dropped because this one, according by the latest, according by reports, we didn't bring come outside March 22nd, 2023. Now Angola been done day number 2 for Africa before they drop. Okay, before they drop, and even at that, they still get the potential to grow. Now Angola they on top of number 7. Where they produce 55,000 metric tons of palm oil for the matter. Now Sierra Leone they at number 6. Sierra Leone they produce 75,000 metric tons of palm oil. 75,000 metric tons of palm oil, and the government of Sierra Leone they try make them expand that particular industry where they produce palm oil, diversify them to help their own economy, make their own economy self-diversify, make them get more source of income. Congo, they there. Talk about Congo, Kinshasa, they there is also known as the Democratic Republic of Congo. Them they there for number 5, the 5th biggest palm oil producers for inside of Africa, and be Congo, number 5. Now this country, according by the take put on the country, they produce about 300,000 metric tons of palm oil, according by the latest estimates, based on how they take drop them. Then Ghana, they on top of number 4. Ghana, they produce. In fact, they say the palm oil industry for Ghana, upon say they relatively small, according to how they describe them. They say it never really expand. Say they're relatively small, but it gets 300,000 metric tons of palm oil where they come out from that relatively small industry, palm oil industry of Ghana. So that one day there. Well, according by the reports, they say investments they go in, they pump in investments to expand that particular industry for the country of Ghana. That one day there. Then Cameroon day number 3 actually. Earlier on I said day number 5, but they kept in the Cameroon day number 3. Cameroon are the third biggest producers as at March this year, according to Business Insider research we didn't do, where they based on world agricultural production. The statistics we didn't bring the data. Wouldn't bring come outside. Cameroon day number 3. Where they produce now them be the 12th largest producer in the world and the third in Africa. 12th largest producer in the world and the third in Africa. And the output reached 465,000 metric tons. Talk about Cameroon. Then you can now go for the number 2 country, will be Cote d'Ivoire. Yeah, Ivory Coast or Cote d'Ivoire for inside of West Africa here. 600,000 metric tons of palm oil, and that be the latest record we they get according to Business Insider Africa. The amount of palm oil where they come out from inside of Cote d'Ivoire, they 600,000 metric tons. Now they produce. Now the capacity where they bring come outside. Now check number 2. Now check number 1. 600,000. Number 1, they produce 1.4 million metric tons. See the gap between number 1 and number 2. Number 2, they produce 600,000. Number 1, they produce 1.4 million. Almost, waiting be almost. More than twice the number where Cote d'Ivoire they produce. Now in Nigeria will be number 1. They produce. Nigeria, with a production of 1.4 million metric tons, Nigeria are the 5th largest producer of palm oil in the world and the top in Africa. Now, I guess take us go through this long road. Why I take us go through this long road? Be waiting we hear this morning, waiting we see this morning, will be like saying an anomaly. Now something when they say so people go say anomaly. Then something will be say really supposed to be like that. Now and waiting we see this morning, the reports come outside. They say Nigeria they import 300 billion naira palm oil, and Nigeria don't import 300 billion naira palm oil for inside of 6 years. Now check that figure. Now I don't want to know whether in 6 years or not. Because whether it's 6 years or 1 year or 3 years, go really matter much. Because for country will be the biggest palm oil producer for inside of Africa, something they missing somewhere. I don't know where the thing they missing. Whether now attention 9 day needed for inside of maybe they need to produce attention 9 day needed for inside of attention they needed for the oil for the palm oil sector. Attention they needed. Yes, maybe attention they needed because, like I talked earlier, the land they there, the capacity of the human beings, the capacity of the human beings to farm, there, Now, according by this report by Daily Trust, they say despite featuring prominently on a June 15 list of import item when they valid for forex by the Central Bank of Nigeria, Nigeria imported at least 299.6 billion naira worth of palm oil from 2017 to 2022. And an analysis of Nigeria's foreign trade, and I then do this one, and a Daily Trust now bring this particular one come outside. Now, you guys ask this question because one of the staples, one of the things them when it be say palm oil, of course we know palm oil you produce high quality oil, whether they use the cook, soup, different things. Now one of the things that they use for house, now one very useful condiment, even for industrial, if you take and go to the industrial level, palm oil they needed for soap making and other things. So the use itself, the need or the important partners of this thing now, if you start to count them, it not be one, not be two. Now, according to the governor of the Central Bank, CBN, Godwin Emefiele, he said Nigeria imported 302,000 metric tons in 2017, despite placing the product in the forex exclusion list Upon say the products, they don't exclude them from the forest list, and they put them for the forest exclusion list. Me say if follow for what they exclude for foreign exchange, but still on steel, 302,000 metric tons in 2017 alone. And then according by how they talk, they say experts now come outside. They say now due to the current production, they meet the local demand. 1.4 million metric tons averagely produce. Say it is below the 3 million metric tons they consume. So that particular 1.4 metric tons, 1.4 million metric tons where Nigeria they produce when they take their number 1 for Africa and number 5 for the world. Say they enough. Reach the 3 million metric tons where they consumed, or we Nigerians they consume inside the country annually. 3 million metric tons. Meanwhile, we they produce 1.4 million metric tons. They must not enter. We they consume more than we they produce. And that one means we can't go import. Then why would they go import to come augment the one we would use for inside of the country? Now, 1 barrel of palm oil they sell for over $600, so that you go know say yes. Now something when it be say now lucrate now something now source of resources, now source of money be this one. 1 barrel of palm oil sells for over $600. Now you're going to ask yourself question where the mathematics no add up. Where the mathematics no add up. Where? Something need to add up somewhere, something need to add up somewhere to make this whole thing work. Now, somebody when they talk earlier, talk about ID from Duce, in the talk about how and that particular allusion or that particular thing when they talk, not true. When they talk about Malaysia, they're on the list of one of the biggest palm oil producers for the world. Now, Malaysia gets their own oil palm seeds from Nigeria in the 1960s, according by historical records. Say we get fine collection of they call them plasm oil palm. They call them germplasm oil palm. So we get fine collection of this particular matter. And the last, Malaysia collect go that side. According by how they give us the update here. So the oil palm with the native to West Africa. And a part of what we say they take Nigeria now, but eventually Malaysians, according by the reports now, say they understand, say they need to get West Africa germplasm, that particular species where they are ground here, say they need them, they need them. And based on one or two, last in the 1960s and even in the 1970s, they get some of those things from us, plant them today, see where they. Now, so that one will call to the question of management policies where they involved for that area, the investment portfolios of the government and people, private sector too. How much investment will people get for inside of this oil palm production business? Shena land and I know how much investment will people get for inside? How much mechanization will they involve in the cultivation of these things? How much efforts will they put to manage, grow these things, process them, bring oil come outside? All of these things are questions we need answers, and this is why we're going to hear things like say, even with waiting with the produce 1.4 million metric tons of palm oil for inside of the country, even with that figure, say we still hear talk about import, talk about not sufficient for us, we need to import. Even say that we import from Cameroon, we'll be number 3. Cameroon, they produce way less than us, but we still import for them to support our own. So attention need, I just say for big talk this morning, make I just re-emphasize, say attention they needed for that area, all right? Because not only saying as something when it be say it is native to us, we be say we know we almost like natural resources or natural resource where it be On top of that one, now something when it be say if we manage them well, if we control them well, now better source of revenue for the country, even for the private sector. Now better source of money. Now where people feel they make money, the money fit people feel make money, organizations, private sector, the government think make money from more money from this oil palm business or palm oil matter. All right, because in 2022, according by the reports now, where they talk now, they say Malaysia now, based on how they be, according by the findings, they don't become the world's second largest producer and exporter of palm oil after Indonesia. So after Indonesia, Malaysia next. The same Malaysia we collect palm fruits from us. All right, the same Malaysia now then be the second largest producer in the world. So for inside of 2020, they export 16.2 million metric tons of palm oil and palm-based products. Products when they be say them value them, when they value the money no be here. The money there's 73.3 billion Malaysian ringgit. Now be the value, the monetary value of waiting them push out. Okay, so the palm oil industry don't contribute about 36.9 billion ringgit, that the Malaysian currency, to Malaysia total gross domestic product, that to their GDP. The money where only palm oil don't contribute. Now be that one. So how far waiting will stop us from say we serve waiting will stop us. Now how about the lands then where they use they cultivate this thing? Now for Nigeria, they use little over 600,000 hectares where they use cultivate palm oil. Okay, how about the management, the efforts, and waiting that they put in? Now experts don't come outside when they talk, say work they needed, vision they needed, and willpower, the will. Because many people not really they interested. The will no they there. Because where there is a will, there's a way. If people really want to make them walk, it will walk. So the work where they needed to be done, the vision of waiting be the vision, waiting we see with that our palm oil sector. And then the willpower to do the right things or to do things we're gonna move the sector forward. So experts don't come outside when they talk based on how they be. Now financial expert Paul Alaje, he come outside when they talk on how palm oil imports they drain Nigeria's foreign exchange reserve. Now he say the more we import products that can be produced locally, the more we are harming our own economy. With the import product where we self we feel produce. As a matter of fact, we are one of the biggest producers of the product, but we still import them. Say, they help us. That according by experts, Paul Alaje, he said, they help us. So this thing is something we say we they produce, and we're one of the biggest producers, and we are still importing it. Alaje comes and they know to the different regions of the country, then gets the capacity to make the country self-reliant in palm oil production. Palm oil production. Say the different part of the country, so everybody hold hand together. Say the one way concern palm oil. Say Nigeria fit they self-reliant. We fit rely on ourselves. They produce we oil. They use them. Say that we go to export. Yes, now that according by what in the experts, Alaje come outside when they talk. Financial experts. When he talk, but in say one of the things when he talk, he said neglect on the part of government. Now, I quote him. Now, what in Paul Alaje talk there, according by Daily Times, he said neglect on the part of the government and the people. Now, be the problem with that sector. Neglect. Some people they look and say maybe in a dirty job, maybe in a dirty works. Government maybe they look at maybe for some reasons never really tap into the full potential for whatever reason. So, but neglect on the part of government, neglect on the part of the people. Now, waiting they hold that particular sector down. Palm oil money. What is oil money? Oil money, no be only crude, no be only crude oil, but oil money. Palm oil after all, palm oil itself now oil. So when they say oil money, crude oil day, palm oil itself now oil money. And it's about time we need to start to pay attention to what to happen for inside of our palm oil sector. We're not going to be the biggest producer of palm oil for Africa, and one of the biggest for the world, the fifth largest producer of palm oil for the world, still we know they make up to half of waiting we they consume, not to talk of say to export, because we they consume about 3 million metric tons, we they produce 1.4. We know they even they produce up to 1.5 million metric tons, so it'd be half of what we they consume. So we know they produce up to half of what we they consume. Okay, so time don't reach to pay attention. These are some of the things where all the incoming governors elect, all the senators elect, House of Rep elect, the president elect, everybody elect need to pay attention to some of these places where they don't neglect for years. And maybe if you pay attention there, apart from say go help food security for us, for the country, revenue, money is important. As you take the B. All right, 6 minutes before 9 o'clock. Now, waiting day on top of Big Talk. Some of those things we shared from Church Mind earlier this morning by 6 o'clock. Past 6 o'clock, we share some of those things, and then that will bring them back on top of the Big Talk, make we remember for ourselves as citizens. So these are some of the things where they face us, some of the things where we need to look and need to tackle, even on our own capacity as private people, as government, as private people. Everybody need to hold hand, make we do something about them. Now, what in there? As the matter take the beat, check your time now, 6 minutes before 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock, we they enter inside of the newsroom, make we hear what in they happen for the world, because information they very, very important. And of course, if we come out from the newsroom, it could be time to hear tafsir from the digital imam. They call me the chief priest. Tomorrow, we will get with special guest on top of the matter. You know how it be Wednesdays, one of the finest days of the week. We go get somebody. We go talk about some things on top of the Big Talk tomorrow. You know, go one miss some tomorrow. The Big Talk go choke. It go choke. You know, go one miss some. But before that tomorrow, before that Big Talk, of the waiting paper to talk. Try join us 7 o'clock every weekday. Make we look the newspapers together. Make we react to the newspapers together. All right, that one day very important. But and of course, now so we do every weekday on top of Super Citizen at sunrise. They call me the chief priest. Beg we jam you again tomorrow. Enjoy yourself. Get better morning. On a good morning.